All right, Byron. How you doing, man?
Hello, Eric. I'm doing great. I think we've both been better, but still doing well.
Oh no, I have the wrong. Oh my god, dude. All right, let's
Okay, we're
let's
not
talk
doing
about this right now. Let's talk about this right now. I'm coming back from a weekend full of shenanigans. Lots of alcohol was included. And so brain isn't working. It ain't firing very quickly.
No. User error in full mode. I was at Iowa Wild hockey game last night. A buddy of mine came back into town as well. So 34-year-old body just not recovering how it used to at all. Not at all.
And I'm 38. So it's
yeah. It's not good. But Jimmy Crack is in
What's
the
up,
house.
Jim?
What's up, Jimmy?
Jim Lemoyne.
So, speaking about Jimmy Crack, old Justin Rose, Darbo.
Oh my god.
Dude, talk about just going crazy. I mean, we've spoken about him, right? With like how his mentals. I've always like spoken about his mentals, right? And how he's like such a you never know what you're gonna get depending on what his like mindset is the week of. Dude, he was incredible this week.
I got that wrong. I mean, so I do a Tuesday and a Wednesday stream. Wednesday for members, and I'm usually building my own lineups. Just showing people what I'm doing. And Justin Rose is being selected quite a bit because like he just has great course history and like the tool or the skills, the stats that are good for my model to show up, especially at like $7,500, I think he was. And I think I told everybody he can't win. He can't win. Can't win. He's not even get a top 10. I'm like, he's too old. This was the worst DFS week I have had in years.
You just got swept, huh?
It was bad. I think I put in like $75 and came away with $5. So it was and it was my whole strategy was I think 80% of my lineups, and I built 125 lineups. Like 80% of my lineups started with a 10K golfer. 33% of my lineups had Patrick Cantlay in them. 26% of my lineups had Xander Schauffele in them. And they weren't paired together, so like 50% of my lineups were just dead.
Yeah.
And
dude, Xander let people down big time. By the way, David, this is going to be a major baseball video. Hour 2, we're probably going to, or maybe at the half an hour mark, we can do some baseball drafting. I don't know. We're going to recap for a little bit, and then we'll see where we go from there. Probably do some baseball for
Could be an hour from now.
Yeah, I got some slow drafts cooked up, so we have those in the hopper. Going to be a fun show. Mark Harris saying crazy full got her up this week in Phoenix. We don't know yet. We'll see. We'll see this part of the show still coming up.
One of my on my chat, Bryson is in the chat. He watches your streams too. Yes. He goes, had Rose in 40% of my lineups thanks to the optimizer.
Wow.
Like I told you, it's like a choice thing, right? Like I chose not to play Justin Rose because I just didn't want it. But there he is over there, rubbing it in my face saying you should have followed the optimizer. Sometimes it knows better than me. Sometimes it knows better than me.
Hey, I was heavy on Rose at the Amex, and then last week I decided to just still only put him in one of my 5. 20% was still fine, but guess what? JJ Spawn was in every lineup. Sometimes you shoot, like you go with the tight core. If the core crushes, you crush. In the Discord for round 2, we had Rasmus Nyegaard Peterson and Siwoo Kim for showdown, and we crushed. And then on round 3, we had Rasmus Nyegaard Peterson and Adam Scott, and we got crushed. Like it just happens. Sometimes we saw what Adam Scott did today. Like we locked him in to hope he could do what he did today, and he didn't do it remotely close to what he does on Sundays, because on Saturdays he's been doing some crazy stuff, but he's like leads the field in Saturday scoring average. Gains like 1.7 strokes on Saturdays, Adam Scott.
Oh wow, good to know.
So it's interesting, man. And then on Sundays he loses strokes, which makes sense. And I had him for a top 40 bet, and he finished 30th. Like
You
that
know,
is his golden like range.
I was just thinking like Saturday he crushes, Sunday he retreats basically.
Regresses, yeah.
It reminds me like how difficult it is to have 4 just solid rounds of golf like Justin Rose had. Like that was, he's 45 and he 4 rounds to do that. I mean, like, I
Around
don't
this course in particular.
I don't. Yeah, I think every golfer that's on the PGA Tour is able, like they have this in them. Like I kid you not. Maybe 10% don't. Like the journeymen that are on tour because of status from when they won a tournament 10 years ago or something. To that effect. They're on like they've made enough cuts on the PGA Tour to have some kind of like exemption until whatever time, whatever those exemptions are. Those people probably still don't, they don't have it in them because they're either too old or whatever. But I think everyone is able to do that, but it's like it rarely happens to have all 4 rounds just super, super good.
Yeah. And I mean, today's round wasn't necessarily the greatest, but it was sensational under the, given the fact that he knew he just needed to gain half a stroke on the field and kick everyone's ass by 7 still.
Yeah.
So he kind of handled his business. The only hole that he bogeyed was the 12th, which is one of the toughest par 4s
insane
in America. So it's not that big of a deal. I mean, you bogeying the hole and only losing like 2/3 of a stroke to the field, which is fine in a birdie fest like this. Eric, it was interesting to think about because I chose -17 as the winning score this week in Sports Illustrated panel.
Oh, second place.
And it was second place. It was, T2 was -16, which I think was a great read. And it just goes into like to show how much weather impacts, because that's all I went off of. I went and took a look at the past couple scores at this venue that were the highest, because I saw it was 4 pristine days of like birdie fest weather. And I don't know if you noticed that the majority of the guys at the top here are like Siwoo, Rose, Damon, like Hitsune, all like sharpshooters.
The assassin.
That could just keep themselves in the fairway a lot better than, because when there's no wind, it's easier to hit fairways, right? So having that distance out of the rough isn't that important because everyone's hitting a lot more fairways. I don't know. So how much golf did you watch? It sounds like you were just drinking the whole weekend instead of watching any golf.
I watched Thursday and I left Friday at noon, and I think coverage started at 10:30 a.m. our time, maybe 10.
Yeah.
Something like that. And I was in meetings that Friday. So I basically left, picked up a buddy who doesn't listen to golf. Like I would have listened to the golf, like the PGA Tour radio station the entire way. I went to Green Bay, so it was a 4-hour drive for me. And so, yeah, didn't catch any of that. And I dropped him off coming back here, put it on for the last like 20 minutes of my drive and listened to Rose. I mean, literally, it was at the time that Rose was finishing up. So I got to hear what Siwoo's first bogey of the final round. And I thought that was good because in my league contest, or the league that I'm in, I was basically battling. I think I had I had Michael Thorbjornsen against Siwoo Kim, basically. And that was going to determine who got first place this week.
Bogey free.
And I'm like, good, because he had Siwoo, he got the bogey, so that gets rid of that bonus. And I'm like, all right, awesome. But then Siwoo comes and birdies 18, and
Pearson had 3 in a row twice. Dude,
wow.
he's looking very impressive coming back from the Corn Ferry Tour.
Our best really balls. Fun. You remember our best balls or whatever that we were doing early? That first podcast of ours, I think Pearson Cootie was one of our main dudes.
Yeah. He's such a good driver of the golf ball. Gained 1.2 strokes a day, and I mean, he came from nowhere. I had to hit the God at top 5.
Ooh,
by the way,
you were close again.
Look what he did on hole 5.
Oh my! Heartbreak, man. Okay,
right.
So how did you do?
And I had a Tony Finau top 10. Look what he did on hole 5 at 1,000 to 1.
Ouch, dude. Ouch.
Sorry, 10 to 1 plus 1,000.
Oh
Like,
my god.
what on earth, Tony? Like both my guys I needed to just make birdie on 18 didn't. But it is what it is. Sorry, what were you asking?
I wanted to ask you, how did you do this week with bets? Because and a part of this, like this show, I kind of want to recap what we did,
Yeah.
just to I guess I haven't asked you if you want to do that. I like to do it just
That's
to be
fine.
I just like to do it to be transparent with my audience, like I'm not gonna
No.
try to embellish, "Oh, you should listen to me because I'm so successful."
You should listen to me because I'm going to tell you exactly how it is.
Yes,
Like
same.
we lost some money this week. Not going to lie to you. Yeah, we have our total was minus 4.9 units this
Okay.
week at the farmers. Not a big deal because if you think about like what we get up to here, this is my bet track in the Patreon. So you guys get this as I'm placing every single bet. You get it
Perfect.
all. You can see how I'm tracking, getting the odds, the books, all that stuff. We got waxed in the round 3 unders. I expected a lot more guys to shoot under par. Just 71, it was 71 and a half
Yeah.
for the unders. And Ryan Gerard, Sahith Thegala, RNP, Brooks lost like a million strokes putting yesterday. And Keegan Bradley just went into neutral. So I chose the wrong golfers. The read was still correct. Like the scoring has been ridiculously easy all week. So I struggled there. That was a lot. I mean, just over here, I lost 1.5 units. And then Rasmus Niergaard Peterson, we'd added him live for round 2 to be the leader after round 2, or to just get inside the top 10, and he missed it by one shot.
Yeah.
That was a 4.3 unit swing over here because we had basically to win 3 units for that top 10, and he parred the 9th hole on the north course, which is the par 5, and missed by like if I had 3 guys just birdie the final hole of one specific round, we are positive this week. Like that's just how it goes. So it's
That's
all good.
Those are some so how do you feel when you're so close? Does it give you like inspiration or is it more heartbreak?
Early on, it depends what time of the season it is. When it's close like this and it's been happening like all year, it can be debilitating. Like you can start losing your stuff. But the fact that I bet these things, it just means that when it happens, it's going to happen. Like we are betting to win 10 units in some instances, for like this RNP, there was, if he had a magical round, we win 10 units. So like we're losing bits and pieces, but knowing he gets close, and the reads have been good, Eric. Like we've been pretty on point with a lot of stuff. And like I'm not going to be too beaten down about it.
Okay.
I mean, we had Hao Tong Lee finished 11th. We had that top 5 for him, and Ryan Gerard I think finished 11th as well. So like 1 or 2 shots either way, and we had like 3 top 5s hanging around, which you have a week where you have 2 of them cash, then you're looking really nice. So,
Absolutely.
So yeah, JJ Spawn, a very disappointing week in my opinion, because I've been looking forward to like seeing what he can do. I think he's been underrated a lot this year, and he's proving me very wrong because he's sucked. Like so we'll see what he gets up to this week at the Waste Management, but it's like the ball striking's so good he just can't putt at the moment, which is a problem.
We might have to revisit that first podcast that you and I had about my take on JJ Spawn.
What was it again?
I thought he was overrated. I think he's a loser. Which that's harsh words. I don't really mean he's a loser. I just think he's less than what he's portrayed. Last year was a career year, and I don't think he's going to touch it.
You know what I realized riding this week? That his 4th place finish at the Hero was like a top 150 all-time tee to green week. He gained like 14 strokes tee to green at the Hero and finished 4th. Because the putter, like it's all, he just can't putt right now. And he seemed super mopey on the course. I was watching him in the featured groups, and he was like bitching and moaning and mumbling and grumbling. Like his head wasn't in it. So he needs to get his shit figured out because the game is there. He just needs to like lock in.
You know what? I kind of have. I've been thinking about this a lot. With strokes and stats. Obviously, I've been talking about it ad nauseum. Like whenever I've created videos that I haven't been able to edit and all that stuff that you've been able to watch and stuff. I I would love to really break down, like dig into these stats, because the make rate at 8 feet is 50%. I'm a huge believer, a firm believer, that par putts are easier to make than birdie putts. And when it comes to this binary conversation that we've had in the past, the layman off the street would just be like, isn't it just an 8-foot putt? And I'll tell you one thing, for whatever reason, avoiding bogey matters so much more than making birdie. Like for me, like if I'm golfing, is like I will do my best to not get a bogey. And so like I make more par putts than I make birdie putts. And in fact, I'll have some really easy birdie putts that are like 5 feet away that I miss for no reason because like I'm nonchalant with it, Yeah. Now these guys are pros, so whatever I'm saying, I understand how it sounds. Like I'm comparing myself to them. That's not really what I mean. But I'm super competitive, and I wonder. This is the deep dive that I want to do, is comparing birdies versus bogeys. So you just said JJ Spawn had like tee to green, like what was his fourth best or the fourth best of all time? Was it of all time of his?
Like 150th best tee to green performance since 2004.
Of all golfers.
Of like all the golfers, like in the last 21 years, basically.
Of all tournaments, not just the hero?
All tournaments.
Yes. Okay.
Like every tournament in the database that Data Golf has, that was a JJ Spawn, 155th best since 2004.
And there's been more than 150 tournaments dating all the way back to that, right?
Oh yeah. I mean, geez, dude, if you look,
40 tournaments a year. So yeah.
It's like 400, 800 tournaments.
So that was really good. Obviously amazing.
Yeah. I mean, if you take a look at what the top ball striking performances are from a true, this is round level, from an event level, all time, Tiger Woods at the 2000 US Open gained 30 total strokes, but we want tee to green as like all timers, right? So Tiger Woods at the WGC American Express Championship in 2006 gained like 22 and a half true strokes on the field. That was absurd. 19 there, but like these are all flushes. VJ, Scotty, VJ, Dustin, Brett Wetterich.
You remember him, huh?
I don't know who Brett Wetterich is. Bryson DeChambeau, they're all Kevin Chappell. All like really impressive tee to green guys that you should expect to see on this list. So to pop up, I mean, some of them, I think it was raw strokes as well that JJ got. So I don't even know, how that translates. But worth noting, that's elite stuff, and it happened in December, man.
Yeah.
I'm not going to give up on that kind of.
Yeah, I mean that's
that kind of baseline performance. And the putter, we know if you just switch from POA to a different surface this week, maybe it changes. But I'm kind of eyeing him out for Riv because I think
I like that.
Tee to green merchants,
I like your take on that. Obviously, with 23 under being the winning score this week, that obviously means you had to be hot. Like, what was Rose's strokes and stats this week?
Oh my God, bud! They're like through the first 3 rounds they were insane. They were insane. Justin Rose, round 1, didn't know what he did on the North Course, but he putted his brains out. I watched that round. Made everything under the sun. Also, ball struck it well the whole week. So 7 strokes gained to the field there was the second best round of the day. Round 2 for Rosie, the best round of the day on the South Course even. It was one of the best rounds of the day. Second best round of the day on the South. Kicked nuts. Everyone that was playing the North Course's ass. And you can see the difference in strokes gained over here because the North was playing that much easier. When he did that, gained 3.5 strokes putting, gained 3 strokes on approach. Like, that is dialed in. You know,
Can you go back
good
to the?
stuff.
Oh yeah,
Sorry?
keep going through. Yeah, that's fine.
So Yaz Rose again. We're going to take a peek at the scores for him. Approach play yesterday was dialed. 3.8 strokes gained. I mean, he gained 5 strokes ball striking basically.
Yeah.
Yesterday. So you could lose a whole stroke putting, which he did, and made a couple big ones here and there, but kind of missed some good opportunities that you should totally see him capitalizing on usually. And then today he did it again. Like, he was early on, you could see he was like driving the ball well, just keeping it in play.
Yep.
So I'm not going to be bashing him for like a mediocre Sunday. I mean, he just tried to land the plane. So
He didn't have to do anything today.
no, I'm looking at you, Keith Mitchell. Look at this round, dude. What a round.
Wow. Well, that eagle on 7 kind of boosts his
Yes.
approach.
But I mean, to lose 4.5 strokes putting
Oh yeah.
and gain 1.5 strokes on the field still is what will drive you to drink. What's this, a 3-putt? This must be a 3-putt, yeah, Darbo, right?
A 3-putt or a miss from like 3 feet away.
Yeah. And then just basically anytime he looked at a putt on the back 9, he was losing strokes. Like, it was just anything he looked at, and it was disgusting because it was green regulations he hit 7 or 9 greens. So yeesh.
Yeah.
By the way, Tony Finau 3-putted 16 as well.
Wow,
And he hit an
that's
absolute
so
peach.
surprising. So
well,
surprising.
Tony, let's chat about Tony a little bit because I've seen him move now to the mallet, Eric, and it's a center shafted mallet too.
Does
So
he have a
it's like-
conventional grip, or is it still like does he
I
have
think
a
it's still pencil?
is
I
it still
think.
pencil? Okay.
I don't know. I was just more paying attention to the way the putter was resting on the ground, because Tony Finau, he's called Tony because the toe of his putter is by his knee at address. Like, just terrible. Like when your putter is like at a 45-degree angle, like you're hitting it with the bottom of your putter almost. Like when you're making connection, like
Yeah.
it just
You know
doesn't
what's
seem-
weird? A buddy of mine came down Wednesday to get fitted for a putter, and he wanted me to come with just to get, just if I could listen to what the guy was telling him. It's a way to kind of break down whether or not the guy's kind of full of shit.
Yeah.
Because that's how some salesmen are. They'll just tell you whatever to try to get you to buy a club or not. But he also wanted me to bring my putter because he liked how long my putter is, and just like how it sits on the ground to hit him gripping the putter. And it actually was a good fitting for him. They used lasers to figure out where his putter face was facing at address and whatever. And the crazy thing is, the longer the putter was for him, the more the toe was up. And when the toe was up,
counterbalanced.
he was aiming more to the right. He aimed more to the right.
Yeah.
And normally when the toe's up, the ball's going to go left. So it's like, it was really weird. And what ended up happening is, because this is what our eyes do. This is the beautiful thing about golf. It's very psychological.
Beautiful.
If your putter face is pointing to the right, your eyes will see that, but your brain might not register to say, oh, I'm aiming to the right. And so instead, what will end up happening is you will overcompensate and then pull it, because you're trying to correct what's wrong at setup. And a lot of his putts miss left. But I always said it was because of his stroke. Like the stroke for him goes left. So for a professional golfer, coming back to Finau, for a professional golfer to do that, I understand he is sitting with putting coaches, he's sitting with manufacturers for clubs and stuff like that, and they're all saying this is the most optimal way for you to putt. But here's my issue. If you have that toe up, why not just adjust your lie angle on your putter to make it flat where your hands can still sit in the same spot? This must be a mental thing.
It must be. It's like it's like Happy Gilmore stuff.
And if it's a
You know,
mental
like-
thing, you should never trust a putter that has mental issues when it comes to putting. Like, seriously. He's
No.
never been a good putter, and he has stupid setup. Like, his setup is dumb. Like, he's just never going to be good at putting, ever.
But now we've seen what happened with Scotty. Just sometimes just the look of something at address.
Agreed.
Maybe it must be difficult for him to have like a blade sitting flush with the ground. Whereas, like a mallet, it's a lot easier for it to just rest neutrally there, in an organic way. It's harder to have that toe up with a mallet versus a normal putter, right? It's like trying to ride on two wheels in like a go-kart versus a tank. It's not easy to get the tank onto two wheels,
Right, right.
Like what I'm saying. So I think it will be interesting to monitor because he's obviously a supreme ball striker.
It's worth monitoring. Yes, absolutely. 100%.
When there's a change in someone's game where it's like been really, really bad and it's a significant change that could potentially not gonna make it worse, so we'll see what Tony can do.
We can continue talking about Tony because I'm still also really interested in like what happened to Tony last year. What legal things were happening? Because like, are those behind him as well? Golf is mainly mental, and outside thoughts coming onto the golf course really affect your game. Like, they've done studies on this when it comes to the psychology of golf. If you've got stuff in your brain, like if you have relationship issues or you have like children that are sick or whatever, that stuff comes with you onto the golf course. And again, these guys are professionals. A lot of them do have mental coaches and stuff like that, but are Finau's struggles behind him?
Financially, I want to say yes, because he's just got the Jordan apparel brand endorsement, which I think he probably just decided was like, let's just offset everything I owe probably with this endorsement deal. And now we're good to go financially, just let the lawsuit go its way, how it needs to. He looks pretty fly out there. I mean, if there's one person that can rock that Jordan apparel, it like had button down, like actual buttons on the shirt. It was like Jason Day, Melbourne kind of vibes, but a little less baggy, a little more slim. But yes, I mean, I remember vividly in college, I was playing a really good round of golf. I stood on one of the tee boxes and remembered I never handed in a piece of homework. And my round just went to total shit. Like right after I remembered that I did this, and I was like, oh God, I forgot to hand this in. I'm going to get like a 0. Boom, round went to pieces because, like I just wasn't there. So seeing it come together, granted, we've always seen Tony play nicely here. So like, don't get overly excited because this is one place he could bounce back quite nicely. But what do you think?
I don't know. I'll just be cautiously optimistic, I guess.
Yeah.
Like, I don't, it doesn't really make me super excited, but it does give me more comfort to play him in DFS lineups now, where if he's going to stay like $7,200 to $7,600, sign me up. Because that's like he's a good 7K golfer. Like, he's going to disappoint sometimes and he's going to flourish other times. But once he gets back up into the 9K range, he's going to have to play really hot for me to want to play him at 9K. But I would never, like this week, I think at the moving, not that we have to move forward, but looking ahead at the WM Phoenix Open where he has had success, if he's priced in the AK range, I think I'm going to stay away. Like, I need to see a little bit more. Like, this was nice to see what he did this week, but I don't trust it, Byron. I don't trust it.
No, but it's good. It's a good it's a good bookmark. Put a pin in this. Come check it out next week. See what he's got up to. Here's, in the Model Maniac Patreon, I've got the course history, strokes gained by round since 2021 for you guys out here. Here's Tony Finau. Played in 2023, hasn't played since. Gained a bunch of strokes the first 3 rounds, and then kind of pooped his pants in round 4. But that's fine. If you want to take a look at the course history by finishing position, Tony Finau has finished 14th and missed the cut. So not terrible, but not nearly. I think Brooks is going to be very popular this week. Made the cut at Tory, and then now is returning to like a happy hunting ground. He's going to have to find a putter that Dauber, it was bad. It was disgustingly bad for Brooksy on the greens. Like,
Well,
mm,
I actually was very surprised with how well he struck the ball. Like he hit
Yeah.
some pretty darn good shots. And that first day that I got to watch, I was watching him with, was he in Ludwig's group? I can't remember. I think he was with Ludwig
yeah,
and
it was Ludwig and Max. It was
Oh,
the
yes.
death march.
yeah, I mean they were kind of striping it for a while, you know, on Thursday. Obviously, Max didn't make the cut, Ludwig didn't make the cut. But yeah, good on Brooks. I didn't think he was going to make the cut, and he did. He battled
Yeah.
back. He was +1 after round 1. You need to get to -3, which is the lowest that cut has ever been ever, and it's still -3. So I
Yeah.
mean, you know, that was good. It was impressive by Brooks.
Yeah, I mean, first week back, there's a lot of stuff going on. You know, a lot of distractions, which that was good to get it out the way. That now at the Waste Management is just like his second tournament in a row. Dev's asked you question on putting modeling. Do you weigh putting differently since at least anecdotally is very hit or miss, no pun intended. It's binary on green speed, grass type, etc., than driving distance, approach, etc. I'll go quickly off the top. There are certain guys that are just very good putters, and they will almost certainly be gaining strokes pretty much every single round. The reason why people say like putting is so volatile is that anybody can have a good putting round, whereas not anyone can have an elite driving round, because it literally the ability to get the ball to the hole on a putting green from 50 feet is there. It's not like you lack the power. Maybe you lack the skill and the whatever, but when it comes to driving or hitting approach shots, there are certain people that cannot hit a 280-yard approach shot over water. That just there's a skill threshold that people cannot meet in the ball striking world. Whereas on the putting surfaces, I can show up and have a lights out day on the putting greens just by maybe having a couple misreads and putting badly, and then it syncs up perfectly that the ball goes in the hole. Thoughts?
Yeah. So obviously, I big into the stroke chain when it comes to kind of talking against it, you know. So putting, the break-even mark for a 2-putt is 32 feet away. So if you think about, and then average proximity on tour is like 37 feet. I think it's something like that. Let me double check that as I'll still talk about it.
It's not important. Keep going.
But to let people know proximity on average versus the break-even point of a putt for a 2-putt is really important, because if people aren't hitting it close enough to get negative, you know, strokes gain on putting, that's where you have to watch out for putting models, because if a golfer has positive putting, look at his proximity. If his proximity isn't good, that just means he's 2-putting everything from over 30 feet away.
40 feet. Yeah.
Yeah, and that isn't what you want with scoring. Like, you kind of have to do this mix and match kind of to try to figure out, is this golfer actually putting? You have to combine approach and putting together. You have to look at what the positive and minus is from those stats. If you combine them together and it's a positive, that means he's doing good. Like that to me would be a good putting model, is adding approach with putting and creating your own stat. I've thought about this. I don't know what to call, because you got approach and off the tee together. That's ball striking. What would you, if you added approach and putting together, what would be the new term for that?
Pitch and putt.
Pitch. Ooh, strokes gain pitch and putt. Oh my God, I love that. That's awesome.
I
Look
think
at you.
Spencer coined. I don't know, but
Byron. Oh, Spencer said that.
Yeah.
Okay.
I
Okay.
think he calls it like a pitch and putt model, which is basically, you know, when you have like a whole bunch of wedges and
All right.
contests. So.
Yeah. Tour average 37 feet. I was right. 36.6. when it comes to
Don't question
proximity.
yourself.
Well, it's that was probably from last year that I was in my brain. No, it wasn't from this year, but this year it's currently 37 feet.
Yeah, so I mean, there's also definitely guys with grass types. I think grass types are significant, especially when you go from West Coast to East Coast with Poa and Bermuda. Those are two very like like
I
hard types of grass, to putt on.
I don't
Like they've
remember
got very
who
good characteristics.
I was listening to. I don't think this was Keith Stewart that said this, but it was, I think, someone on the PGA Tour radio, and it might have been Keith. I don't remember. Believe it or not, I didn't really think this through, and I understand like what this person was talking about, but as the round goes on, there's a donut effect around the hole. Have you heard of this before?
No,
So
but I'm
West
understanding this in my brain as you speak. Like,
West Coast POA during this time of the year, where conditions are softer, everybody is walking towards the hole, picking the ball up out of the cup, and it creates this rim around the hole where you step with your left foot or whatever, you reach down and grab the ball. Everybody's doing that on all sides of the hole. You're not going all the way up to the cup. You and I both know if someone were to do that, you'd slap them silly.
yeah. And also, how are you getting out? How are you getting it out?
Yeah, it would be really goofy, right? You'd be like a waitress trying to get a bigger tip by bending over.
Oh yeah.
But like, so I really didn't think that. I didn't know that. I didn't really think it through. But I don't. Yeah, again, I think it was a PGA Tour player that was talking about this. That's now an announcer. Like, I don't know if it was Matt Every or whoever it was. But when I was listening to that, I was just like, holy crap. If that's the case, and then you've got the budding POA that comes with it, it's like, I had always said this about the best putters on POA are firm putters. And if you think about that, like Tiger Woods was always good on POA. Phil Mickelson is always good on POA. Think about Phil at Shinnecock, how he just tried ramming putts in and they would just go off of the green because he would miss, or his comebacker would be further away from where he, hit his putt.
Yeah.
Those guys are good on POA. And I think that's because they figured out that's how you're supposed to hit those putts. And you'd hit it through the donut. Because if you're, Patrick Cantlay and dribbling it up to the hole, it's going to
momentum's going to lose.
It's going to ricochet. Yeah, exactly. So I was just like, okay, so does that mean you just can't really be a good putter on POA, like West Coast POA, unless you're the Tiger Woods types where you're just ramming the ball in?
I don't know, because I listened to Maverick McNeely when he was chatting to the no laying up guys at Pebble, I think maybe last year or the year before. And he mentioned that he likes to putt on POA, and would you consider him a good putter? I mean, he gets hot. I wouldn't call him consistent, but I would say he can be a very good putter on specific days.
I would say I would have called Mav McNeely a good putter in his early years.
Yeah.
And maybe he still is, and I just haven't really done the research on it, but I feel like he's more of an all-around good golfer now,
Oh, yeah. No, that's exactly the case, is that he's like worked on his game. Putting used to just be his thing, but
yeah,
he mentioned, you're not going to change the philosophy of your putting.
That also could, okay, so I'm going to go back to what I was saying before. If you're not getting the ball close on proximity, your putting stats are always just going to look good.
Yeah. No, but I mean, you can watch him from 8, like watching him from 8 feet. He's like automatic.
Yeah, he's got a solid stroke. I agree.
So,
yes.
You can see if the stats don't align to some guys.
Strokes and eyeballs.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I've been kind of really adopting a little more with the outrights side of things.
Good. Yeah.
Is maniac action, because the models I think work best for like top 10s, top 5s, those kind of things, where top 20s, where you're looking for repeated consistency, good flaws. I think golfers get like splotchy streaks, hot for a couple days, and then maybe a couple weeks, and then it disappears, and a model isn't going to pick that up as easily as if you're watching on TV, because like a Pearson Coody T2 today was about as backdoory as ever. You know, like at one point, I think it was like a T6 when he finished his round, he was T6
Really?
or something like. It was very close. I think he was, yeah. So as people kept playing the golf, like the leaderboard started falling apart a little bit, and then he made his way up because he posted that number 4 or 5 or 6 groups before the leaders.
Gotcha.
You know, like he was well ahead of them, and then yeah, I was sweating the Sahith top 5 like hard, and that Cootie going birdie 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 to finish also there. But you know, like that T2 wasn't like he wasn't ever in the heat of the battle with Hatsune and
where it was kind of
Damon
like free.
them and
Like
Secret.
you could go out and just play. Like I'm just gonna go and try to play the best round of golf that I can, and no nerves are on me, and everything's working out. Like I totally understand that.
That's exactly how Tommy Fleetwood's going to win his first major. Is like how Pearson Cootie did this, where you go out 5 or 6 groups ahead of the leaders, you're 5 back,
Yeah.
and you just catch fire late before you can realize what you're doing. Finish hot, post a number, hope people fall apart behind you. And I
That's
think
probably what's gonna happen. You're right.
for Tommy, at least. By the way, Justin Rose now, world number 3.
Say that again.
Justin Rose, world number 3.
I know. Yeah, he went from number 10 to number 3. Was
I
that
think
correct?
10
Yeah.
to number 3 in the world now. So should we transition that into some best ball?
Sure.
Okay. Let's chat some best ball. Let's chat some drafts. Do you want to do a live fast draft, or I can
We
also
can-
just do
we
my
can.
slows. We can do a bit of both.
Okay.
Happy for either. I'm also going to pull up my Google Sheets for the power rankings for the majors.
Yep.
This is kind of under construction right now. The Big Dog Dominator, kind of just trying to figure out some things. Yeah, it'll come along.
Hey, someone in my chat, by the way, had said that he is doing really good in best ball. I think it was Bryson. Bryson said he's doing really good, or like he's doing really well in best ball because of the Dog Dominator.
Let's go. The Dog Dominator dominates, man. It really does. You know, I don't just give things names for no reason. All right. So we spoke last week, Eric, about kind of like where we want to go in round 1 with all of our round 1 picks. We kind of both decided that we liked a couple guys ahead of Tommy Fleetwood, like Bryson. And our thoughts on Xander now. Like, what's the state of the nation on Xander Schauffele at the moment?
Okay, so I was kind of doing a little bit of research heading into the WM Phoenix Open just to see. He has the best average finish at the WM Phoenix Open with at least more than one event. So he's got it better than Scotty Scheffler. So I am kind of, I didn't see Brooks.
Oh, it's whatever. Yeah, he wasn't. But we're talking about majors.
No. So here's here's my thought process on this. If Xander shows up to the WM Phoenix Open and does not get a top 20, and this is kind of a very, what would you call it? Forgiving expectation, I guess, or like whatever. A top 20 isn't going to be good enough for Xander, but a top 20 is going to give me more confidence into thinking he's getting back on track of where he should go. If he gets a top 10, I am absolutely feeling good about him in the majors, because at a course that he's supposed to do well at, like, you know, because we had questions about Farmers, right? Like, we weren't sure he was going to do. He just has bad course history, tournament history for whatever reason at the Farmers. So, okay, now if he comes to the WM Phoenix Open, wonderful. Like, if he does well, wonderful. I did also hear an interview with him about how being a dad has been a little tricky with his golf, like whatever, because carrying a baby is causing shoulder aches and neck aches that he never had before.
Yes.
Which I'm not like going to disagree with, but you're a professional athlete. Like,
Dude, I started having like random pain down the left side of my leg right
Was it
after
because
Piper
of
was born because I remembered holding her that her head would like rest right on where you like get a mousy, like if someone hits you pretty hard on
yeah,
that muscle
a
over here.
mousy? Is that what we
Yeah,
call Charlie horses?
like yeah, Charlie horse. There we go.
Okay, okay, mousies.
It
Okay.
looks like a little mouse under your skin sometimes, like when it pops up like that. But I was like leaning and trying to like just like accommodate her as best I could, and I noticed that I would always have my phone in my right hand while she was sleeping, so it was on my left hand side, so it would always be on that side. And then I stopped doing it, and it fixed itself up. I like self-diagnosed myself,
Gotcha.
and I get it because he's been just sitting. He looks fat. He looks fat, man. He's out of shape, and I get it.
Oh my
But he's
gosh.
fat.
Oh my gosh. Is that why Jordan's been struggling too, but he's just not going to admit that his body aches because of being a dad?
Well, Jordan's, I mean, I'm not even going to try and diagnose what hell Jordan's going through, but yeah. So I don't know. I think I'm out on him going forward. Let's
Okay.
take a look at some stuff. Yeah, here's my first one we're going to do tonight. Got a Bryson. I'm just going to pull up actually the whole board here. That way we can see what's cooking. Got a Bryson lineup that I can't remember anybody else in as this thing loads. Here we go. Bryson, Russell Henley, Tyrrell Hatton, Chris Gotterup, Patrick Reed. So I kind of like that. How do I get this like this? There we go. Okay. Is this working? Maybe not.
That'll be fine. There
we go. Bryson Russell, Tyrrell Hatton, Chris Gotterup, Patrick Reed. I kind of like that as like a good start.
That's wonderful,
guys.
dude. Absolutely. Way to get
Bryson,
Chris Gotterup in the 4th. That's awesome.
Yeah, I think Colin Morikawa is also going a little bit late. If I do say so myself, so I don't mind kind of snatching him up. He's still been like very good in the majors, has Colin Morikawa.
And you would have to expect he's going to rebound. Like he's got to get back to some semblance of what he was like when he first came on tour. Like that's where his potential is, right?
Yeah. I mean, just taking a look at, he finished 3rd at the Masters 2 years ago. He had a really bad Masters last year and finished 14th. So Colin in the last 4 years hasn't finished worse than 14th at Augusta.
Gotcha.
5th, 10th, 3rd, 14th. Love that for him at like the Masters for sure. Just looking at his other stuff, it was a pretty bad year last year, but typically you're always getting at least like a top 10 from him in a major, usually top 20s. It's a very consistent top 20 rate for him. 26th at the PGA was pretty close. So he's always going to be in the mix. I think I'm cool with him in the 4th and 5th rounds for sure. I think over Patrick Cantley, Colin Morikawa versus Patrick Cantley in majors, just to me is like a no-brainer. Go Colin.
Yeah.
What has Patrick Cantley ever done in a major?
I think I have some pretty heavy scar tissue, and I imagine a lot of people have heavy scar tissue with Patrick Cantlay. What is this guy's deal? Like, he played decent at the American Express, like decent. Wasn't really expecting a lot, but he played decent. And then he comes to the Farmers, and I don't know why I didn't like see the warning lights, the red flashing lights as I was looking at his course history at the Farmers. But like he missed the cut again. And his average finishing position was like 55th. I'm sorry, are you not supposed to be good on California golf courses? Aren't you supposed to be good on POA? What is and where my scar tissue happened was maybe like 3 or 4 years ago at the 3M Open. He's the best golfer in the field by a long shot and missed the cut. And it was bad. Like he wasn't good at all. He wasn't hitting anything close. He couldn't make any putts. And it's like, what? But then last year, towards the end of the year, he just turns it on Like when it comes to the playoffs, like is he just money hungry? Is he only going to play good when the purse is huge?
I don't. He to me is like the biggest corporate shill I've ever seen in my entire
Yes.
life. You know, like
Yes.
he's Mr. Blueprint for what you want as like a financial firm in the S&P 500 to sponsor a golfer. You want like Patrick Cantley. He's
Yeah.
strictly business. He's going to do everything you want, and he's totally fine being a top 5 golfer. He's never looked in like the last years at he hasn't sniffed trying to win a golf tournament, and it's bad. But let's take a look at like Jason Day, who's going in the same range as Cantley. And I mean, if you just take a look at Jay Day, he should have won the Masters at some point in his career. Surely, you know, like when Adam Scott won, Jason Day had the lead multiple times that Sunday. When Adam Scott won the Masters.
Okay.
I remember watching that the other day. Go to the Masters YouTube if you've got nothing better to do with your life. They have the final round of every Masters out there. Like it is so much fun to watch.
Every once in a while they'll get recommended to me and I'm like, yeah, why not? Let's watch the Masters.
Yeah. And ideally I don't look at the thumbnail that hard, so I don't know who wins it. You know, like sometimes knowing who wins, it's hard to see. But look at Jason Day, okay? 8th last year at the Masters. That's you're looking to get through week 1, right? That's the Masters. It's one of the we're going to say this every single time we speak about baseball and majors. It's the most predictive golf course on the planet.
Yeah.
When it comes to professional golf, right?
Yeah.
Based off of past success. So Jason Day with multiple top 5s and top 10s, at this venue is a no-brainer to me in the 5th round when you can click his name. So,
I don't have an issue with that either.
Yeah. So I don't know. I'm glad I told people that on a draft that we didn't have the opportunity to actually take him. I thought that it was us to take him there. It was not. So hopefully they were not watching this draft and taking Jason Day on the turn there. Let's chat about Harris English. If you're going to have Harris English dropping all the way down here, I'm going to be taking him. What are your thoughts on Harris English?
I think it's a fine value, but man, I kind of have the same feeling about Harris English as I do JJ Spawn. Like I just kind of view him as like a loser especially at majors. You tell me.
Yeah, I'm glad you said that because this is just assumptions and interpretations are very, very misleading with this man. Look at his track record at Augusta. Now, I think he's played I think he went and played 3 or 4 times prior, like somewhere here in the early 2000s and 15s.
Okay.
He made it to Augusta. And then he went on like a 6 or 7 year gap in between Augusta appearances. It was kind of crazy. So
yeah, that is crazy.
In the last 4 years, though, he's got a 21st, a 22nd, and a 12th at Augusta.
Okay.
And now we are starting to see what Harris English is getting up to. Take a look at Harris English's last little couple starts. Now remember, Harris English was injured when? 2022, 2021?
I don't remember. I honestly, I don't remember.
Yeah, it is in this range where he was missing multiple cuts. Like he was just coming back from injury right here, 2022, 2023. Prior to that, look at this. A 3rd at the US Open, a 4th at the US Open, 19th at the PGA Championship, 21st at the Masters. Made cuts in all 4 majors. Do you see a missed cut here outside of any of the times when he was injured in 2023 and 2022?
I guess not, no.
Like, he is going to give you 4 rounds of golf at majors, potentially a 2nd place finish, potentially a win now, because he's now knocked off a 2nd place finish in a major, which in my opinion is one of the most important things you need.
That's right. Yeah.
To win
a
major.
You've said that several times. Yeah.
So we get 2 instances of that last year. And now we are getting to click Harris English we're not even going to click his name first. We're going to make the 2nd click so we can say we got Harris English in the 5th round.
Okay.
Because we've got the turn here. So who else, Eric, are you kind of eyeing out from I think we're going to go Patrick Reed, yeah.
There's some good names right there.
But we can deep dive a couple.
Well, okay, so Sepp doesn't look super sexy, but I don't know, man. Like, if you can win a WGC event essentially, or a signature event,
yeah,
He won the Truist without Scotty there. But still, I like his ball striking. I like he. So, you know, if you're listening to PGA Tour radio or if you're watching PGA Tour live, you will hear some outlandish things. Like sometimes you'll hear, oh, Russell Henley's the best putter in the world, you know, that kind of stuff. Those are strokes gain eyeball conversations that these people are having. And a lot of, and like, I'm not disagreeing with sometimes what these guys say. They're not saying he's the best putter because of stats. They're usually just saying he's the best putter because they see those things. They say Sepp Straka is one of the best drivers of the golf ball. And like and I don't know if the stats bear that out, but when you look at his golf swing, the swing, it's pretty fluid. It's pretty smooth. He hits it far enough. And if you're a good driver of the golf ball, I'm just always automatically going to feel like you've got a good path to, I wouldn't say winning a tournament, but doing well in a tournament. But I can see the stats that you just pulled up don't look super great for Sepp Straka.
Not in majors.
Yeah.
It's kind of interesting. But again, he was starting to find something. 7th at the PGA in 2023 and then runner-up at the Open to Harman. There were a couple guys, Jay Day, Tom Kim, that all got a freebie T2, like a clump of them at that 2023 Open Championship when Harman ran away with it, I think. But then nothing inside the top 10 since, and last year was abysmal in majors for Sepp. Like, that's scary to me. It's very, very scary. If we're taking a look at, I think, you know, someone that I'm also going to be hammering is Corey Connors as my Masters specialist. Because,
oh, of course, yeah, absolutely. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, like, let's go. That looks like Tangerine Town over here with old Corey Connors. We got one miscut in 2023, 4 top 10s in the last 6 years. I mean, his game is built for this. A nice ropey draw around all of those, you know, those Augusta Pines, and he seems to have just figured out this golf course. So if you're going to give us Corey Connors late like this, I'm down for both of these dudes.
It's so crazy because, like, I see Siwoo Kim there too, and that entices me because Siwoo is, I think, statistically one of the better drivers.
Total driving wise, he's pretty solid.
Yeah.
But I don't even have a Siwoo. I don't even have him in the system.
Okay.
Somehow, all good.
I mean, so that would be kind of one of those speculative plays to me, where it's like Siwoo, if he doesn't just have like a mental, you know, lapse in judgment, which that's what we can expect with Siwoo Kim because of just how, I mean, he's one of the worst mental golfers that I know.
Oh yeah. I was on him at the Amex, and we could tell the moment.
That's right. That's right. But then again, this week at the Farmers, or this last week at the Farmers, it was like, you know what? Siwoo's, because of his driving, because of his ball striking, it seems like a good place to play Siwoo Kim. And then he finished his second. It's like, yep, that was a good time to play Siwoo.
But let's see Siwoo's done well in the majors yet, and it's not good. 1 top 10 since 2021 in a major.
Okay.
When you think about like total driving and just keeping the ball in front of you and out of the thick rough, you'd think Siwoo could get it done, man. But I mean, in 18 major starts, we've got 3 top 20s in majors. You know, that's not going to cut it for me. If you like, take Corey Connors instead.
Yeah, Corey Connors, if you're looking for a safe play, I would say, yeah. I think one of your picks should be Corey Connors. That's coming up here. And then you just figure out who the next person is, if it's Harris English or Jason Day. But you want Patrick Reed.
And Patrick, I mean, so interestingly enough, Reed's got 7 top 20s, but, you know, we're going to get a lot more top 5s from him, usually at the Masters. But I think both of those were at Augusta. So let's take a look at this team.
I will say,
oh, Jesus.
Is this your team right here?
I know. Don't judge. Some of them get auto-drafted. I've had a busy couple days. Okay, trying to draft in between all of this.
You
stuff
know
has been
what? It's
hard.
got upside though. It has upside.
With Scheffler and Colin.
I
Dude,
think with
let's pull up
Hideki too.
Hideki in majors is like a sponsor's dream. He makes the cut all the time, but it's hardly like any upside.
You used to be able to rely on Hideki at the U.S. Open to backdoor a top 10.
Oh yeah, he's only missed one cut since 2021 in majors.
Wow.
But he's only got 3 top 10s. You know, and one of the top 10s was Augusta win. Like, so he's not really giving you like Corey Connors has got 2 more top 10s than Hideki Matsuyama in majors.
I still feel better with Hideki than Corey Connors. Like, I think I'm drafting Hideki 100 times out of 100 times ahead of Corey Connors.
100 times out of 100 times?
Mm-hmm.
Where's Hideki going in these drafts? In the 3rd round. So, I mean, you're not going to be taking Corey Connors there anyway, so we don't have to make that decision. But I think I'm happy passing up on him. I'll take Tyrrell Hatton instead. I'll take Fitz instead.
I'd take Hovland.
Oh yeah, Hovland for sure, dude.
Yeah, I would take Hovland instead. I know we're going to talk about the WM Phoenix Open coming up, but if there's one person to take down Scotty, I think it's Hovland.
Yes. He doesn't back down. He's got the firepower.
And he makes birdies in bunches,
So
tons of birdies.
And I mean, he's got 5 top 10s in 20 starts in majors and a lot of upside. We've got a couple top 2s and 4 top 5s. You're getting 4 top 5s in 20 major starts, and you can click a name in the 3rd round. That's like crazy.
Yeah,
that's crazy town. So anyway,
so we're going with Corey. So you're gonna go with Corey, or Corey? What are you doing? What are you
Corey
feeling?
Connors, Harris English.
But what about Patrick Reed? Do you think Patrick could drop to you?
I hope he can. He's like all the way down here at 36.
Yeah, then I would go Corey and Harris then.
And we get to pick 36. So maybe he drops to us, maybe he doesn't. These other 2 are ADP of like.
I like this. This is such a good ball striking team that you've got.
It is. And when it comes to majors, I'm looking for major pedigree. It's like my number one thing. If you don't have it in majors, I'm not interested in you unless you've shown me like Marco Penge, for instance, has got upside for days. I'll take you in my 12th pick kind of thing, whatever. Later on in my drafting season when I need to like fill in random people. Just for instance, let's not get derailed by Marco Penge, but Harris English, ladies and gentlemen, in the 5th round.
Yeah.
One of I just want to show you this. Look, like this is Harris English in majors. Look at this last little bit of major golf for him.
Yeah.
Like look at these nice, it's the putting and it's consistent. Like he's consistently good at putting in majors. And the iron play has been solid, neutral off the tee. And then we go all the way back. Yeah, you can see like this was the injury situation. Mr. Couple wasn't at the Masters. Started finding his groove again right after COVID.
It was his hip, right? Now that I'm remembering, it was his hip. Yeah.
But again, look here. 1, 2, 3 missed cuts. Scroll. Miscut 5, 6.
Going back to that
cuts in his entire major career.
Going back to that Sepp Straka like thing that I was talking about, I was trying to make the argument that Sepp Straka has the nerves of steel because he can go toe to toe with the top end guys. But obviously you just showed me his major, results and it was not good, which now makes me feel like, oh, I don't even understand why I was thinking that then. Like, is it just because of that one tournament that I'm like, Sepp Straka is better than Harris English? What you're showing me right now is Harris English has nerves of steel. He's got that cool factor, like he just, and he can chew on that gum like a freaking cow in a pasture. Jeez.
Lane Kiffin of the PGA just out here, just going to Moo Town. Look at this ice. Like, what is this? I mean, this is Harris English, people.
My nickname for him for the longest time was the Harry Ish, just because it felt icky to play him. Like I just didn't want to play the Harry Ish.
Okay, so Harris English, in the 5th.
Yeah,
5-1.
Great choice.
Maybe Reed comes back to us. Maybe he doesn't. Back to some drafts over here. We have got in this team Scotty, Colin, Cameron Young, Harris English, Keegan Bradley. So we're now in the 6th round.
So how much are you paying Underdog to get you the Scotty Scheffler pick?
Not much, apparently.
You don't have him in all of yours. Okay.
No, these might be the last Scotty Schefflers we have.
I got you.
There's one more. Okay, so we're good. Yeah, there's a couple.
Good.
No, running hot early. Only the first 25 drafts. So Scotty Scheffler, trying to figure out the best way to show this stuff. There we go. ADP wise, we got Wyndham Clark. To me, like, let's pull up Wyndham Clark for instance. Just,
can I give you my gut reaction before you show me Wyndham Clark?
Yeah.
I think he's on the rebound, and I think if you can get him low, like 5th, 6th, 7th round, I don't know. I haven't done any of these drafts yet, but if you can get him down there, I think that's a steal. I think it's a huge steal.
Let's look. To me, he's interesting because we've got the most miscuts on anyone in this filtered screenshot right here. He does not play well in majors typically, but he's the one of the two that has a win on his resume. But he only has. I'm actually just going to take you over to the big screenshot here because then you can see exactly what I'm talking about. Wyndham Clark has got 2 major top 30s in his major career, and they're a win and a 4th. Like, that is it.
Right. Boom or bust, which is...
It's mainly bust, but you're getting a bit of boom randomly here.
Can we create a narrative here? Can I try to think of a narrative as to what happened to Wyndham here?
Okay.
I think he wins the US Open, and almost like that was the granddaddy of them all. 33rd at the Open was great, but I think he was resting on his laurels, like his, confidence going in. The following year, all the confidence in the world, but had a shaky, he just wasn't hitting it as close. Like his iron game, everything was just not good enough. And I think he put that pressure on himself because he's the US Open champion.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of like how all hero stories happen. Everything is going good for them until something just slaps them across the face, or they lose something or whatever, and then they plummet down, whatever, and now they got to pick themselves back up. I think that's kind of where we're at with Wyndham Clark. I think he's humbled. He's been humbled because after his US Open win, he's done absolutely nothing with his life. And I think he's on the rebound. I think he's climbing the hero's journey.
Have you watched The Boys?
I've up to season 3.
If I mentioned Compound V to you, exactly
yes,
what I'm talking
I would know what that is. Yeah.
Wyndham Clark had a Compound V slipped into his cocktail at the US Open because there was no precedent to tell us his best finish was a T75, which goes completely against all the trends.
But this is where the recent form conversation comes into play, because he had won the Wells Fargo a few weeks prior to that US Open win.
Correct.
I don't remember how many weeks before the US Open, but it was relatively
yeah, I mean he went.
There was you passed it.
Yeah, I know. I was trying to just see. I think he was
3
playing,
weeks.
The Corrales Punta Cana earlier that year.
he had some good finishes, even the Valspar. Like, there's enough good feels.
Events,
and I think even the Memorial,
Wells Fargo.
I think even the Memorial he was contending at for a while. Yeah, no, he was coming in with really good recent form. Like that's what I was saying is like there's the heroes, everything is going good for him, and then
Right.
something just a
Yeah.
bus ended up hitting him out of the blue, and he just fell.
But then in like 2024, he won Pebble. Arnold Palmer players back-to-back second place finishes, goes to the Masters, misses the cut.
Oh,
After the Masters, T3 at RBC Heritage the very next week. Then plays fine, doesn't play at the PGA Championship weekend, misses the cut there, and then finishes 56th at the US Open. The very next time he plays, T9, T10. Next major, misses the cut at the Open.
yeah.
Then he goes and finishes T14, T7,
Okay, okay,
T13.
okay.
Like the form, the roadblocks are
You're right.
literally the majors. You know, like you can see where they, apart from
Oh God,
last year's
yeah,
one random
dude.
T4.
Okay.
T5 at the Texas Children's the week before the Masters or 2 weeks before the Masters, 46th. And he made the cut on the number, I believe, with Rahm. I bet him to miss the cut, and he played out of his ass on that Friday, Wyndham Clark. Like 76 in round one and then 68 on. That was the only time he shot in the 60s. Didn't come close to breaking 74 in the 3 other rounds.
All right. Well, I wanted to create a narrative for Wyndham Clark, and you just shot down my narrative.
Yeah, no narrative for him. Other names.
Can I actually then give me like 2 more minutes on Wyndham Clark then?
Okay.
That big wipey fade that he hits, like he's never going to do well at the Masters, right?
That's what I thought, is because everything goes right to left. Got to mirror that thing.
Or off the tee, but they've also said winners at that tournament primarily hit a fade or can hit a fade because all the approach shots to get to a lot of the pins or whatever, you need to hit a fade. So golfers who can work the ball both directions tend to do the best there. That's Tiger Woods, that's Bubba Watson, that's Phil Mickelson, you know, whatever. But that big wipey fade, he's just not going to do well at the Masters ever, right?
In my opinion, yes.
And then at the US Open, the one that he won had the widest fairways of all time, right?
Yep.
So he's really never going to win a US Open either after that one, unless they play big wide fairways like they did before.
And then finishes 4th at the Open Championship, where you've got to like thread the needle all day long. But I do like him in like club down courses a lot, actually. But you only get a lot of those in majors because it's all driver heavy, thick, rough kind of stuff.
He could win a PGA if you know, because that's the most friendly of all the majors. Although they're trying to make those tough now, right?
Yeah, they are. And I think, you know, the US Open makes a lot of sense for him to have won that. Brian Harman, because we need to make some picks here. By the way, David, you need to chill out. I cannot draft live. This is the reason why. This is why we're doing slow drafts. Is I drove to Missouri so I could enter these things from a legal state. Can't get in there with you right now. I honestly also hope you're enjoying all the beers, because this chat looks like you've really had a fun time in there. But Brian Harman, adding him to our situation here, we've got 5 miscuts, but 6 top 20s in majors, which is kind of not terrible considering Wyndham Clark's only got 2. If we're looking for guys to piece up here, starts getting barren here pretty quick, Darbo.
So okay, what is your final take on Wyndham Clark? Just a no?
No, not for pick number 6. Not my 6th round pick.
Okay.
There's not enough like consistency there. Like, let's take a look at Narin as well, because it depends. It really depends who's around him as well. You know, like these names. Alex Narin in majors. He's playing the Masters. He's missed 7 cuts. He's missed as many as Wyndham Clark and has no top 10s in majors. So I'm kind of out on Narin as well over here. Akshay can't putt, but what's he done in majors? He's got 4 miscuts in 9. I mean, he's missed half of his majors. So I don't know if I'm liking Akshay. I think Brian Harman seems like the best option over here. I'm not in on Cameron Smith either. He needs to show me that he's figured his life out.
Yeah.
Nick Taylor is surprising. How many missed cuts does Nick Taylor have since 2021 in majors, Darbo?
All of them except for 2. I don't know how many. I don't know a number.
Very good answer. That's exactly it. He's got 12 major starts and he's missed 10 cuts.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, it makes sense.
With no top 10, no top 20s in any of them. So, like, for me, Nick Taylor is just a no-go in majors, which is shocking, considering how clutch he is in playoffs. When he has to win a golf tournament, you'd think he could, like, nut up at majors, but no, very bad. So let's just go Brian Harman here. I think that's the easiest click for me in this range. These are like some hard decisions. I haven't made my way this far down in drafts yet.
Do you do you ever speculate, like, instead of picking like the safe play in Brian Harman, try to pick like someone that you think is going to turn it around that isn't even showing signs of turning it around in your data?
Sure. Later on. This is my first 25 drafts for the Albatross. I'm going to go off of the safest metrics I have right now, which is major data to start with. Once I start developing like a player pool and exposure, I'll have to speculate on some other guys to get off some other names. But that'll be later on in the drafting season. Hopefully it's also on names that land up falling down the board, because I don't want to like invest too much capital into anybody that I'm hoping on. You know, I need, again, like I'm going to keep harping on about the majors seem like they're so predictable given what you've done in past majors. You know, like look at just what happened with Nick Taylor's situation, Wyndham Clark stuff. You know, like it's crazy to see. Alex Noren also has been struggling. Adam Scott's very interesting because you're not going to be getting any upside from Adam Scott, but you get like solid output. I've got a million tabs open now for this guy. Let's go Adam Scott. Oopsie. I honestly hate Google Sheets, dude. Okay.
Get on Power BI.
Drives me. I know, bro. I know. So Adam Scott missed 6 cuts in majors in the last 20, but he's got 5 top 20s in those. So he's got a bit of love in that department.
But he sucks at putting, though. Oh my god! At putting,
and he sucks at being in the moment.
Oh my goodness!
What did he do? Like at the U.S. Open, he should have won that thing. And Adam Scott landed up finishing 12th. He was like in the final group and didn't even clock a top 10 there. But you know, he's giving you enough solid finishes in majors. He drives the ball. He's one of the most elite like drivers of the golf ball out there with distance and accuracy, man. He's like solid.
I'm gonna do things. Yeah, I'm gonna do things on my side. Don't get distracted, but I want to look up Adam Scott just to see, like, has he turned it around this year versus previous years? Because like last year, I remember watching him at the Genesis Invitational, and he was just god awful. Like he was terrible. And that's a tournament that he typically does well at. So I'm really curious to see, you know, because you're talking about how he's been poor in the majors, like at least the last 2 years, if not the last 3 years. What is there a conversation to say like he could turn it around? Like
I think, like if you take a look at Adam Scott's situation, the putter has taken away his upside in a big way. You know, just take a look at, as you can see, the putter's like kind of gone crashing into negative territory.
Yeah, he's terrible putting. Like it's bad. It's really bad. Worse than
Not good.
Yeah.
And how do you get like up on the top of leaderboards is by having like spike putting leagues. And it's just like for him, it's just been, there's been all of his good finishes when the putter showed up. You know, like it's,
you know, it's funny that someone on PGA Tour Live, Adam Scott had missed a putt, and you know how he just looks up to the sky with his mouth closed and like he goes, and there's the signature move from Adam Scott. Like, oh, that was brutal. Like,
yeah, it's like he gets slapped in the face, and it's like, oh no, not again.
Yes, yes.
I didn't see that one coming.
What a
But
what a bitch move.
Aaron Rye is interesting. If you take a look at his like major track record, he's actually got the best major strokes gained out of everyone we have on the screen.
I would much rather have Aaron Rye than Adam Scott.
I mean, we have got some interesting finishes here for this guy. In his last 7, he hasn't missed a cut.
I kind of feel like he's someone you can rely on at Aaron Rye.
Like that.
Yeah.
And he's good at US Opens in particular. 33rd, 19th, solid finishes there. He will now be playing in his second Masters. PGA Championships, he's finished top 40 both times in the last 2. So I think Aaron Rye is someone to chat about, Darbo, for sure.
Okay.
In this range, I mean, compared to Wyndham Clark, like you're not really going to be getting that much upside from anyone in this range. Wyndham maybe, but you're going to have maybe 3 missed cuts along with that. I think Aaron Rye is at least going to give you weekend golf, especially as your 7th guy.
Yeah.
So we went kind of safe there. Okay. Let's try and speed up a couple things here, and then we can get into, got 9 more minutes of drafting, and then we can chat waste management, right?
Yep.
Okay. This team has Bryson, Henley, Colin. Oh, Jesus.
Ooh. That's an icky looking lineup right there.
My God. We should let's move on to this one instead. Let that one just continue auto drafting itself. It's dead. We've lost the $15 there. You are totally fine, dude. Happy Sunday night to you.
Yeah. Sunday fun day.
Oh yeah. Okay. So available to us in this range.
Let's try to shine up this turd.
What turd are we talking about?
The lineup you have right
this
there.
This Patrick Cantley nugget.
Yeah. Do
we want to add Waco Neiman to this?
Just to continue to spice it up?
I think I'm liking Jason Day as
I think you probably want to put Jason Day in that lineup.
Juice, right?
Honestly, okay. I think it's Jason Day. Okay, you're going by stats that are safe. Mav McNeely, is he any good? Like, would he be someone you're interested in?
That is, I don't know what his major track record is like. It's mediocre. 32nd in his debut Masters. Wow. Actually, wow.
I think it's Mav McNeely. Mav and who was the guy that you just selected? Short-term memory is terrible.
Day.
Yeah, I think I think you go with those 2 guys. I think they offer you the highest safety.
Yeah, and I think like Mav has been pretty solid, dude, in these couple majors.
If you were to tier him like A, B, C, D, what tier would you put him in?
Mav
as a golfer.
Drafts?
Like a golfer, you have the whole OWGR in front of you from 1 to 300. Of all those golfers, I'm not going to say you got a limit for each bucket, but what tier would you put him in?
From like a PGA Tour schedule, I'll put him as like the bottom of tier B.
Ooh. I would put him at the top of tier B.
Well, tier A is going to probably be a very small group.
Yes, I agree.
So like going into tier A, Scotty Scheffler's A+, Rory, Tommy. I mean, geez, we have to add Rose to that now at this point. I would also even just put JJ Spawn in tier A, and people won't agree with me there, but that's kind of how I view him. Avoid that disaster. But then Mav, maybe in the middle of tier B.
I'll say this. I'll say there's an A+, A minus, B+, B, B minus.
Yeah.
You'd have Scotty as A+ with maybe 2 other golfers, maybe just 1. Would you only just put Rory there?
And Bryson has to be involved as well. I think Bryson's performances in majors lately has been too good to ignore.
Yeah. Okay.
Look at this, Eric.
I know. You show me though. Show me.
His last 2 Masters, he's finished 6th and 5th. He's really struggled there. And look at all this color.
Yeah,
for his majors. That's solid, dude. That's really, really solid. So Bryson is absolutely in tier A for me. Mav, I'll take tier B. And I'm stick with the bottom. I think, we need to see a top 20 in a major from him.
He's close, right?
Yeah, yeah. But you got to show me, and then I'll move you to top of tier B, and then, or middle
Okay.
of tier B. And then if you give me a
Okay.
top 10 in a
Okay.
major, maybe top 5, then I'll consider top of tier B. And then maybe you finish second in a major or win one. And then you never know.
Okay.
But I do like what he's actually got up to in majors. To miss an open championship in your debut is fine. I don't care about that. And I think 2024 was like when Xander won in that ridiculous weather. So, open championship track records are tough. And then he solided up there. It was his best major finish actually with his 2024
And
PGA.
I would make the argument that he just was unpolished 2023 and even 2024 to some extent, like the beginning of it. And then he won RSM later that year, I think, right?
Yeah.
And I think he's now a polished golfer. That's why I put him at the top of B, but we agree he's a B tier golfer.
Yeah, like here is the WM finishing position rates for everybody. Scotty Scheffler with a whopping 64% top 5 finishing position rate. Then we've got Wright and Garrick here go. This is why I say JJ Spawn. I mean, basically 1 in every 4 starts was a top 5 for JJ last year. People don't see. That's
he
not
should
just a
play
flash
well
in the
this week.
pan,
He should play well at the WM Phoenix Open.
Yeah, we'll see. But
he doesn't have to worry about weather. He doesn't have to worry about POA greens. Like,
look at Mavia. Top 5 rates, like 1 in every 5 finishes for Mav is a top 5. So that hasn't translated to top 20s even in majors yet. So maybe this is the year that starts happening. This would be a great place to speculate. Yeah. I would imagine Maverick McNeely ends this year with his first top 20 in a major.
Okay, I agree.
Right? Like,
actually,
I'm cool taking that on.
I'm gonna go a step further. Top 10.
I agree. Given his upside, it very much could. But I think it would be a failure of a year from his perspective to not have a top 10 or top 20 in a major this year.
Agreed.
So let's go. Let's get some upside with him. And then what did we say? Who else?
Jason Day
or Aaron Rai?
Or Aaron Rai. Could you get Aaron Rai on the flip on the turn?
We can get Aaron Rai later, maybe. Yeah. Maybe he drops to us still. Okay, cool. We'll go J Day again. I think J Day late year is.
I mean, do you need to diversify your portfolio? Does it matter?
Not in the first 25 drafts.
Okay.
Now is when you take advantage of a Jason Day in round 6. Maybe once some more people watch this video or whatever, then in 2-3 weeks' time, we like taking Jason Day in round 4. Then my portfolio gets diversified on its own anyway because I'm not taking as much Jason Day there because we've hammered him here already in round 6.
Understood.
Couple more people. Bryson DeChambeau, Tommy Fleetwood, Justin Rose, and Colin Morikawa.
Not bad.
Solid little duo of squads, yeah.
Do we want to talk about Justin Thomas at all? Have you tried to avoid him like the plague? Or
yeah, look, I would have avoided Justin Thomas in majors anyway before being injured. He's actually one of the most disappointing golfers in majors given his kind of skill set.
When is he coming back? Is he coming back for the Pebble Beach thing or is
No, I think he's going to come back somewhere on the Florida swing.
Okay.
But Justin Thomas, look at this. It's actually like quite bad.
Ooh.
You don't realize how bad he is in majors. He spikes a couple times.
Yuck, dude.
And that was a long time ago. It's a lot of missed cuts in majors, and it's the driver. His driving ability it's bad.
Yeah.
And it hurts him in majors in a big way. Like when you take a look at the strokes gained off the tee in majors for JT,
I agree.
It's like,
I know.
Very bad.
I know.
Southern Hills, I think, was a bit more like of an open, kind of a creative venue for him. So I'm out on Justin Thomas just based off of his major strokes gained.
Yeah.
And just performances in them. And now he's coming back from an injury. I mean, that's an absolute not even trying. So I'm down for like a Maverick McNeely in this spot.
Oh yeah, man. The more that we've talked about it, the more excited I've become on. I think he's going to be someone that I'm going to target now in my best ball drafts.
And should we go Patrick Reed with the other one?
I think that's your guy. You like him. I mean,
think of this as like the first round of the Masters. That's
Yes.
the first round of the
Yeah.
competition.
And honestly, my top 10, what I said about Maverick McNeely, I think happens at the Masters. I think that's a good course for McNeely.
Yes, I agree. So let's go there. I'm totally down. Glad we're agreeing on that. Here's a Rory, Victor, Colin, Shane Lowry, Harris English lineup.
Wow.
Yeah, fun. Do we go Jason Day again and Aaron Rye?
I think that's pretty smart. Yeah.
Okay. I'm not taking Walker Neiman at all.
He is so crazy. Why do you think Cameron Smith is up there? Is that well, so seeing the season-long best ball, obviously the ADP was updated kind of frequently towards the closer it got to the beginning of the PGA season. And there were a lot of changes, as it went on. I imagine it's because people are listening to things like this. But is Cam Smith, was that just the default like ADP that Underdog just gave him? Or do we think people are actually drafting him at that spot? Do you also think that some people pick him because that's where the ADP shows that he should be?
No, I would imagine that Cam Smith finds his way here. Like if we just filter off everybody, where does he rank in all-time major strokes gained for Cam Smith? I don't see him anywhere. I think he's actually a little closer. I can't. Nope. There we go. 36. So what? He's 46th. 6th round.
Okay.
It's probably, I'm not clicking him yet because we saw last year was probably one of his worst years. I mean, look at this Masters history. And just this speaks volumes. It's his first cut.
2025 speaks volumes. Look at that. All missed cuts.
Yes. That's what I'm saying. Is like, that's a problem for me. It scares me. And
5
I'm
in
a
a
Cam
row.
Smith homer. Like I'm all over this guy.
Yeah.
And I think people are drafting him in anticipation and hope of this kind of a run.
Yeah.
Which he was very good in majors before he went to live. And then
well, he was
since then it's been.
He was the guy that ate Jordan Spieth's Magic Beans for a while, wasn't he?
Yeah. This Open Championship was one of the best. I was on Cam Smith that year. It was such a fun golf tournament to watch. That was such good putting. Like when putting matters, he under the gun. But then he missed like a 5-footer to win the Australian PGA Championship. In his home country, and like the vibes couldn't have been any worse for him. Like, so I'm out on him at the moment. Maybe if he drops to like round 10 or whatever, like later on, I'll take a gamble on him as someone with like insane upside potential if he finds his groove. But we took Jason Day. Yeah, we're going to figure out some other stuff. Cool. Do we want to dive into some WM Phoenix Open preview?
Sure. Yeah, we can. Yeah, let's do that. We want to do this like a 2-hour thing, and we got 25 minutes to talk about it. I think that's enough time. It's perfect time. I was looking at Justin Thomas at majors. That's what I had pulled up, and it is kind of funny when you look at his off the tee stats. He only gained at the PGA Championship, like every the U.S. Open, but here's a PGA Champ, and then all negatives. He had a good run right here. Anyways, I don't have anything loaded in for WM Phoenix Open on the website or in my spreadsheets.
Don't we have like past lineups that succeeded?
Oh yes, we do. Thank you.
Pull that up. We can also pull up my past bets at this golf course after we do some DFS stuff. Yeah, but I mean, this week we've got Scotty Scheffler in the field, which makes that 6K lineup range very important this week, Eric.
Yes, it does. So, okay, that's the first thing to start with is, does Scotty Scheffler reach $15,000 on DraftKings?
No, not this week. I think the field's still good enough with enough good players to keep him in the 14s.
I'm going to guess he's going to be 14-4.
Yeah, I think that's fair.
So kind of like, I think, did we go over this last week? Like using this tool on sweetspotdfs.com, the historic salary builds.
Yeah.
Okay. So what I like to do off the hop is kind of go into the fantasy filters and look for the highest price golfer. And I'm going to change it to 13 because we know he's going to be over 13.8. And I'm just going to leave 15.2. Just leave that there.
Yeah, that's fine.
I'll X out and we can see what some of the lineups that have this in there. Obviously, I'll probably skip out on the GPP winner for the Tour Championship because the prices there are just kind of stupid. So we had it at the American Express and then we had it at the Open Championship. Okay, I'm actually going to expand it because I want to see more times that Scotty's been in this with.
I mean, 13 is fine. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So now we'll have a few more events and they're all in 2025 and 2026. I wonder why, Byron. I wonder why.
Yep.
Like fair. If we don't have that many more, you can see it on one page. Like this is probably what, anyways. And these were also Scotty Scheffler things. So what I like to do is just right off the hop, just look to see what the most common salary build is up over here. 10-8, 2 7s, 2 6s. So you're right on the money with the 6s. The next common one is 2 10s, which what was this? The Charles Schwab Challenge and then the Tour Championship. Okay, so we can largely ignore this and actually I'll do the same thing I did last week. I will just remove the Tour Championship from the list.
Cool.
Okay, so 10, 8, 2 7s, 2 6s still reigns supreme on a Scotty Scheffler based lineup if that's what we're going to do in DFS. Then it's a 10, 8, 7, and 3 6s. Yep. So your top 2 lineups start with a 10, an 8, and a 7, and then you either make the choice of another 7 or you go straight into the 6s. So I do think that's probably where we're headed. If you think Scotty Scheffler is going to win this event, it really is going to depend on his price. And I know this is weird, but it's like if he's 14.8, if he's like 14.6 to 14.8, I actually think that's probably where we start thinking that's too expensive.
Okay.
Now, I actually might take that back because the optimal lineup at the American Express had Scotty in it and it left $400 on the table. Well, he was 14.2, so it actually kind of it kind of works out. Like what I just said is kind of what we should feel or what we should think about. Here's the American Express already loaded in, or it's at the top of the, because I haven't put Farmers Insurance Open in this. But if you look at the rest of that leaderboard, like Siwoo Kim was $9,000, still scored a lot of points, but he was 30 points behind Scotty. So here's the question right off the hop. Does Scotty win the WM Phoenix Open? And if he does he boat race everybody like he did at the American Express?
I think it happens again. Like when he's winning in dominant fashion. And I was listening to Greg Duchamp mention like during the specific periods of time when Scotty's been healthy, because he's like winning on average 1 in every 3 starts, but a lot of that was when he was rusty to begin the year. Once he's been like healthy and like post Masters, it's been like winning every other week, and he's got like phenomenal course history. And this was his happy hunting ground. He said hello, Waste Management Phoenix Open win, and then he won the Masters later that year for the first time. So like this golf course is something for him that, won it twice.
Won it twice. He missed the cut his first year playing. So how about this? Let's select them all except for 2020. And now look, average finishing place is 7.4.
Yeah. And that T25 was what? I think that was his debut.
Yeah. His first event back from the hand injury.
Like, take 25 out of there. I mean, look at that. That's nuts.
Now, I was listening to the research show that Pat Mayo had In all reality, like I was telling you, I'd taken a nap before, like getting into things. And so I'm just like, I put that on to listen, to just get my mind back into golf and try to get some informational pieces that I may have not heard anywhere else. And Pat had said something along the lines of, this tournament is usually, it's never really won more than by 2 strokes. Like, it's really close, and it ends in playoffs quite a bit. Like, there's, last year, Dietrich won the tournament by what, 7 points or
touchdown.
7? Yeah,
it was
touchdown.
a touchdown on Super Bowl Sunday, which was significant, like.
And I would actually make, I'd make the argument that, if Thomas Dietrich can do it, Scotty Scheffler can do it.
No. And any precedent that's been set without Scotty Scheffler in it can just be thrown out the window, because he's his own trajectory. I think half of his wins have been by 4 or very close to 4+, which is insane. And it's because there's no part of his game that can let him down, because if one area does, the rest of it will just take it on. Like every area of his game is so bulletproof that if one starts leaking water, there's not even like a chance that ship sinks. It's just a T7 as like a worst case scenario if he loses strokes putting. And he's not doing that anymore.
Yeah, so let's make I'm trying to think. Let's make an argument to not play Scotty Scheffler. What would have to happen to not play Scotty Scheffler, or not for him not to be in the optimal lineup, if not a GPP winning lineup? Or a GPP winning lineup, if not in an optimal lineup.
Maybe like some crazy weather that comes through. Let's take a look and see what the weather situation looks like here at TPC Scottsdale.
And by weather, we're thinking wind, because rain's never going to happen there.
Yeah, I mean, they had that one year where there was ice involved.
Oh, yeah. It gets cold. It can get cold in the desert.
Weather looks pretty nice, actually. Once Thursday morning looks a little breezy, but Thursday afternoon, from then on out, it's looking very, very nice. Not more than 6 mile per hour winds most days, max. Okay. Which is dome birdies, just fire away. So yeah.
Okay. So if that's the case, I think Scotty, in order to pay off his price tag, or in order to take down a GPP, he only has to, I don't even think he has to win. Now that I think about it, I think he can get second place, because chances are, let's take a look. I'm just going to put in the WM Phoenix Open. I want to look at each of these leaderboards. I can go into here and just look at DK top 20s and only take a look at all the guys that were in the DK top 20. Look how many 6K golfers there are. And 7. I mean, like last year, first, second, fourth. So the 4 guys inside the top 4 are $7,400 or less. That's already a Scotty Scheffler lineup that's going to win, you know?
Yeah.
And if I scroll down to the next year, and we're looking $7,200 Nick Taylor one, then there's $6,500 Charlie Hoffman. This is where it kind of gets interesting, because you have a bunch of 9K golfers in here.
Yeah.
But Scotty Scheffler, 11.6 is going to be a lot different than 14,000, like what he's going to be.
Yeah.
So he was in the optimal lineup then, but I imagine if this were to happen, then you want those 3 9Ks.
Right. I think they would gang up on him and outscore him like totally, if 3 9s finish top 3.
Well, let's pretend. Let's pretend it's 14,000, okay? So basically, we just have to add 3,000 to someone's number. I'm just going to start clicking names. I'm going to try to build the cheapest lineup and still try to get away. I think I can do this. There it is. So these 6 golfers score 674 points. So I've highlighted 6 golfers. It's very difficult to see on the screen. I understand.
Yeah.
But we're pretending this $46,900 salary. We're giving $3,000 extra dollars to Scotty's salary. So this would be $49,900. So this would score 674 points. So let's add those 9K. Let's build a lineup with those 9Ks. So remember, it's 674 that we need to build. Yep. We need to beat. So we'll do something like this. Maybe Adam Scott. No, that's over.
Good Kiriyama. Siwoo.
I'm trying to build something that's like someone else is going to build. Nobody really builds lineups that win GPPs that leave a lot of money off the table.
Yeah, that Siwoo situation seems like it would make sense.
How about this? Okay, so you said Siwoo where? Right here, yeah. 79. Okay. So that scored 688. So that actually takes down a Scotty Scheffler lineup. With
the triple, but you know,
the 3 nines.
Scotty Scheffler lineup that only finished T3 though. You know, like
this is a good exercise, right? Like we got to anticipate what is Scotty going to do?
Yeah.
You and I are in the same boat. I think Scotty wins this tournament at least by 2. You know, like I don't, something really weird would have to happen for Scotty to not, you know, like he'd have to get a case of the lefts like he has been doing. And those lefts, because like this place is notorious for allowing you to spray the ball all over the place, except for certain holes where there's water on the left.
Yeah.
But you could spray it into the desert. I mean, we see Jordan Spieth in the desert all the time, hitting shots out of the desert.
And instead of hitting the lefty into the water, he's just going to flare one out to the right.
That's correct. Or he's going to club down.
He's going to
play smart.
He won't hit it in the water. He'll mess it up in the spot he can still go hit his next shot from. He hardly ever does that stuff. So,
but what I'm also kind of getting at is like the only way that he's gonna not win this tournament is if he hits it. If he has a case to the lefts and it finds himself directly behind an immovable rock like they did for Tiger all those years back, or a cactus. You know, like he has to be right behind something, which the desert is pretty wide open for the most part.
Yeah, it is, and he's from Texas. You know, he knows how to navigate the armadillos, and scorpions. So
2023 had another year where a lot of the 10s and the 9s were at the top, so we could be making an argument where you don't need to play Scotty. Look at this is 2022, bunch of 9s and 10s at the top.
Maybe balanced is the play a couple single entries with balanced lineups, and then
it's pretty 50-50. Like this year, you could have played a $14,000 Scotty because there's no 9s or 10s that were up there, and that's all that I have salaries, I guess, going back to. Looks like for the WM Phoenix Open, which is interesting. I'll have to look into that. I don't think that should happen.
So Xander's playing this week. I mean, do you think he's going to be very popular? He'll be priced high, and I don't think people will want to click him after what happened last week.
I agree. And he's got really good course history here.
Yeah.
Really good course history.
Like Hideki's got insane course history, and Cameron Young's got insane course history as well. So those two names will be way more appealing to click to me than I think Xander, who will probably be priced significantly more than both of them, since he's 20-1 in the outright market right now, and the other two are 26-1. So that's probably going to have Xander probably sitting, 10-5 ish, 10-8, I don't know, 11. What does Xander be? Scotty's like 14.
He looked really bad at the farm. I was saying really bad, but he didn't look good. He missed the cut, obviously. No, he struggled. So I would say 10-5. He's fat.
He's fat.
10-5. I think he'll be 10-5.
Yeah. I don't think people will click that because they're going to have a $9,800 Cam Young instead.
I think Cam Young will be in the 10s because I think he was just 10,000 at Farmers, and he did play he played decent. He played well.
Yeah. Well, between him and Lindeque, one of them will probably be in the 9s. I don't know.
They all have good stats. I mean, all the names you just mentioned right there. And here's Hideki outside of a withdraw. We can get rid of 2018.
But again, dude, like Hideki's got like this upside And when I say upside, I'm talking like repeated top 5 success. There's no the win in 2017, like that total cumulative strokes gained at this golf course looks amazing. Given like if you're just repping out top 15s and top 25s nonstop, you're going to gain a lot of strokes at that golf course. But that's all he's doing. The next best finish outside of the win in 2017 was an 8th place in 2022.
Yeah.
No other top, like there's a top 15. He's the next best. Again this week, I had him in my one and done. I was monitoring his situation closely. Where the hell did he finish? I think he just finished like 13th. You know, like he's just like hanging out inside the top 20. And then it's sad. Where did Lindeque? T11. You know, like that's not going to do it for me. So lost 1 million strokes putting today. So I don't know if I'm going to be going to Lindeque, Matsuyama. Just him and Xander both seem to be struggling.
There any names on this list that are even worth?
Ben Griffin is interesting. Sam Burns is interesting. Victor Hovland, Maverick McNeely.
Oh, Hovland for sure.
Yeah.
Hovland for sure.
JJ Spawn. I'm cool. He's 42-1 in this field. Last week he was 33-1.
I bet you
So
JJ Spawn will be $9,200.
Maybe in the 8K range even. You know, like then I'm cool going to JJ Spawn.
Yeah, I would be too.
Like my second and third click in a lineup, or especially of like balanced build.
Oh, Colin Morikawa is here too.
What's Colin got up to at this golf course? I'd imagine this venue doesn't really suit him as well. You know, like got to make a lot of putts. Yeah.
Who event? Is that right? 2020, 2023?
Yeah. He doesn't typically play this tournament.
Yeah, it's not good.
No. And the fact that he is playing because he's playing badly, trying to find something is like also the reason why he showed up here is because he's trying to find the putter. It's not been good. So to me, like, geez, but Collins, he's going to be in the 8Ks probably price-wise. So I'm looking at DraftKings odds. And Collins all the way down here, like at 44-1. So Harris English at 45. It's putting, dude. And he's just doing it like people keep trying to convince themselves that he's going to find the putter.
And he switched putters. He switched putters as well. And he looked really bad.
Very bad.
Yeah.
And the thing was, like, under the gun, when he needed to make a 5-footer to make the cut, he just bricked it. It didn't even like kink the cup. He just missed. He just missed it.
Yeah. Well,
Jake Knapp, someone I'm in the mood for, I think.
You know what though? Oh my God. I think by the end of this week, I'm going to convince myself that I don't want to play Scotty Scheffler like I did at the American Express. Because now that it's funny, I pulled this list up and I'm like, is there anyone even worth talking to? And you rattle off a bunch of names. And then I'm also, you just said Jake Knapp, Matt Fitzpatrick. You know, I know he hasn't really been playing super great as of late, but I feel like he's on the turnaround, you know, like.
No, he's actually been playing like really well the last little while, Fitz.
Okay.
Like,
and then there's Sahith as well, too.
Mm-hmm.
You know?
Sahith is. Dude, Fitz is. Yes, Fitzy the last little while. Look at this.
Yeah, that's good. Yeah.
I mean, that you got to have this in your lineup for sure. Anywhere you're looking, it's like this to me, like compared to Lindeque Matsuyama, there's way more top 5s here than Lindeque. You know, like give me this guy all the time. I mean, this is looking really, really good.
By next week, what I'll be more prepared. I mean, I was gone this weekend. Yeah. I was gone the weekend before. I will have a next week tab on some of my on my tools that will actually show what next week's like tournament stats look like, what the strength of field will be, and we'll get a better look. At least I'll be able to show a better look on my end on what to expect. But yeah, I think I'm going to say I might be if Scotty Scheffler is less than $14,400 on DraftKings, I'm going to be way more enticed to play him. If he's over that, I swear to God, Byron, I think I'm just going straight 9s. because of how good the field looks currently. Like, I bet you could put a Fitzpatrick, Hideki Matsuyama in another lineup and put Sahith at $8,400, $8,700 in that lineup. Yeah, Mav McNeely would be a great choice to put in there. Chris Goddard is in the field too, like, or Ben Griffin. Okay.
You know, the balance build looks really appetizing.
It is looking super good.
Yeah. Couple guys that thrive in easy scoring conditions. What's this golf course done scoring condition wise the last little while? We've had scores of well into the teens. That's going to be a scoring average for the field of like over, under 1.5 strokes per round quite easily. So trying to have easy scoring conditions, very important this week. A couple of these Corn Ferry Tour names are going to show up because it's raw stats. So, but it's nice. It makes them pop out and gives them some relevance early in the season. You never know. Rasmus Niergaard Peterson's paid off quite nicely for us. This is like a nice venue for Johnny Kiefer, I think. He's been struggling a little bit, on some tough courses at Farmers last week. Garrick Higo, nice bounce back situation. Berger. Dude, Neil Shipley. If you're looking for Scotty Scheffler lineups, he's a great guy to probably pop in there. He's been playing horrifically this year.
Yeah, I can't. I looked at Shipley last week, and I'm like, no way. Not even touching that guy.
Ooh, Pearson Coody.
Love Pearson Coody.
What's Coody's odds right now? I mean, yeah. So the odds usually reflect he's 59-1. That's probably going to put him somewhere in the sevens. It'll be a 7K option for you.
I actually think Pearson's going to... I don't know, man.
Eight.
I think draft. Okay, actually, I agree with you now that I think about it. There's so many good golfers at this tournament because it's a signature event. That it's not
a signature event.
I think it is.
No, it's not. It's the waste management. It's just the waste management.
I swear to God, they made it a signature event.
No, it's not.
Okay.
It's Pebble and Genesis. Rory's not playing.
Okay.
Neither's Tommy, all of these guys. They would be showing up for 6. Promise. It's late. It's late on a Sunday, Darbo.
Okay, gotcha. I heard it on the radio, PGA Tour radio. So obviously they got it wrong on their end.
Good. Yeah, blame them for sure.
Well, no. I did listen to them. That's what they said.
JJ Spahn shows up quite nicely. Ideally, if it's like medium scoring, I know it's kind of weird nitpicking there, but medium scoring is between half a stroke under par scoring average to 1.5 under par. But I think it's going to be easy scoring this week.
I agree. It will be easy scoring for sure.
So Adrian Dumont at Deschart, someone that you can kind of take a peek at. I think Pearson Coody is going to be quite a nice name, I think, to kind of good to see him making some good strides after the KFT, relegation.
So one and done. 3 weeks in a row. Miscuts. All my guys missed the cut. Sony, I went with Colin because I just had a feeling that he was going to get out and he was going to start out hot. Lovely.
Did the guys on PGA Radio tell you to go with Colin?
No. American Express, I just threw away a guy, Vince Whaley. Like I knew I was not going to get that tournament correct, and I was not going to use Scotty Scheffler at that event. Like I just wasn't going to. Last week I went with Cantlay against looking at stats because stats would have told me not to play Cantlay. That was a speculative gut play. If it wasn't Cantlay, it was Xander. I won't lie. Just because I wanted to use those guys and I couldn't think of where I would use them anywhere else.
So Xander to me is holster him for a major. I think that's the best place to play him is potentially like the US Open or something like that. Like I want to see him give me some good form coming in, have some people like you burn him early and waste that pick. It's like 17 of his last 18 majors are top 20s. And the one that wasn't was like a T28 at the PGA Championship at Quail. Yeah. So in my opinion, at majors, he's going to be very low floor, like high floor, and then potentially could win the thing too. But
I brought up one and done because you went over Pearson Coody. That's why I brought up one and done. And I was thinking to myself, at the Farmers, the only other golfer I would have wanted to pick is a bomber. You know, I wanted to. It would have been another throwaway player for me.
Yeah.
And chances are, it would have been Pearson Coody. I think I said this on our first podcast. I said I'm a slut for Pearson Coody. Like, I really like Pearson Coody.
So maybe this is the week because good drivers of the ball, yeah.
Yeah.
Some
might be.
names that the One and Done Tool likes in the Model Maniac Patreon, yeah. The best options for One and Done this week, you know, given the other person's schedule, like where else you could play him on the schedule and how he compares to other people this week. Justin Thomas not playing, Scotty Scheffler, a 2.5. It doesn't compare to the 1 at the Memorial and a 1.5 at the Masters. You know, like that's probably where you want to play Scotty, is one of those two venues, maybe the Players, since that's the highest pool. I think Xander makes sense here, like you mentioned, but we know what we know, right? This is just based off the last couple of years, not last week, that we saw Dietrich going to get skewed, John Rahm, Bubba Watson, Brooks, Sahith Theegala. Maybe this is a good week to play Sahith. I think he could be very popular, maybe not, but 2 top 10s in a row now entering this week, and he's got like really solid course history at this golf course.
Where would you save Hovland for? Because I feel like this is a perfect golf course for Hovland.
When I want to use a superstar like that, I need recent data points that are good.
Okay,
positive.
so you wait.
I'm waiting, especially right after a season, like as a season opener. Unless you played in Europe a little bit and like, sure, I mean, he probably did and played fine, but I want to see what Victor, like this guy could have gone on a completely swing overhaul in the last 3 weeks.
True.
So,
yep, true.
Like, I need to see some stuff. And I feel like you want to be taking Victor at a signature event where the prize pool is the biggest, you know, like this seems like a great week for Sahith. So, and he's going to pop quite nicely given his recent form. I think I'm going to be going with Sahith this week.
Okay. I'm currently looking at Brooks. So I wanted to see what he did at the Farmers heading into the Waste Management during his top in 2021, 2022. So this is really interesting because where would you save Brooks for? If you think Brooks is back to like kind of the caliber of golfer that he once was.
Who said that?
I didn't. I'm just saying if I'm sorry, I'm throwing the if out there as if you do.
Then you're using him at a major. I wouldn't use him anywhere else because, again, like that's where he does he's got more major wins than PGA tournaments. And I think half of his PGA Tour event wins are at this golf course. So I think a lot of people could be using Brooks. But again, like the putter did not look good at all. Like at all, man. So I don't think I can go anywhere close to him this week.
Okay. Well, I will say for the audience, if you did like Brooks, where he finished first and third in 2021, 2022, he had a missed cut at the Farmers. So you don't need to have good recent form with Brooks to show up at the WM Phoenix Open. It looks like.
It's going to be a fascinating thing for him because the course history versus actual like solid form is really not, he's not playing that great. You know, like he just made the cut barely around a golf course that actually kind of suits his game style. You know,
what was his? Okay, we don't have to go any much further than this. I was just going to ask you, what was his strokes gain stats at the Farmers, because I don't have that yet calculated, and we don't have to stick on it if you don't want to.
No, I mean, dude, we can. I'm happy to keep chatting around a little bit. We got more stuff to chat about still, so if you want to, we can.
Okay.
Stat wise, for Brooks, it was the putter. It was all the putter that let him down like badly.
Will you share your screen?
Yeah, once I get myself here. Brooks. Look at this. So for the tournament, he lost like 7.5 strokes putting. That's like chronically bad. It's also on par with surfaces. You know, opening round, he lost 1.5. Round 3, this is when I bet on him to shoot under, like, to shoot a 71, and he lost 5.5 strokes putting and still shot 73.
Yeah.
Like,
No, I mean, I'm
that
looking
is
at
so
his
bad.
tee to green game, mostly his ball striking,
good.
and it looks
It's
good.
Rank wise, he was second tee to green, man. That was for round 2 at least. For
Dude.
the tournament, he was 11th.
I like this. Like, I can forgive someone on those POA greens to not putt that great. Like,
Yeah.
I'm okay.
But I think his putter has been kind of broken anyway for the last little while. I mean, look at this. You know, like, it's some good performances here and there, but overall it's been pretty bad for a decent while. But again, it can pop at any given moment, and we've seen him do it. So I don't know.
I like it. I like it.
That's going to be interesting because he's 37-1. I mean, that's just a very fair number.
Yeah.
Kind of thing.
Sounds
so
like
you'll
it.
probably be priced at like $8,900, $8,500, or maybe 90, 93, 92.
I don't mind it.
I think people are going to see that tee to green stuff and get like really
excited
about it.
Yeah. Like I said, he looked good. Like, I think when I watched, he had that nice fade that just was, it might have moved off, like it might have peeled away like 10 feet. It was just a straight piss missile that just landed to the right. And there were some times, like, he did find himself in a bunker one time that he had to pitch out, and then his next shot put him to like 5 feet, and he made the putt. And it was like, okay, he's back. Like, I wouldn't say he's back, like you should get super excited, but he's back to the he's the caliber of golfer that I anticipate him being. So if you think odds are fair, I think that's, and if he's gonna be in the 7K range or even in the 8K range,
odds wise, he is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10th.
Oh, yeah. That's flirting. Like, that's flirting with range. 9K range.
Yeah, like, for sure. So
okay, if he's a low 8K range, if I'm gonna build a Scotty Scheffler lineup, I could go from Scotty to Brooks, 10-8, and then whatever. And for those that are very confused, $14,000 golfer is a 10K golfer in my system.
Yes, yeah. Some names that could be down in the 10Ks. I mean, in the 6Ks that we could look for some potential Scotty Scheffler options. JT Poston, maybe. Rasmus Højgaard will probably be there in the 7s. Billy Horschel fits. I mean, no, Billy Horschel will be a nice guy to have in a Scotty lineup, I think.
Yes.
Tony Finau has played okay around here. And I mean, again, we spoke about this with the new putter. Maybe things can change a little bit for him.
Sure.
Maybe they don't.
Yeah.
But you're not really going to be paying much, I don't think. Because I think he was in the $6,000 mark. Like, for some showdown, I think Tony Finau was like $6,600 last week.
Yeah, I'm okay with playing him.
$6,600, dude.
Wow.
So, look how nice this looks. This is what you get from me when I'm not out playing golf and stuff with the guys. This is round 3 showdown for everybody.
That's awesome.
And it obviously went
a lot of work, dude. A lot of work.
Cool stuff, huh? So
it is.
Yeah.
All right, man.
Okay, buddy.
I think we're good.
Fun stuff. Hit the like for both of us wherever you're watching. We really appreciate all of you guys.
Yeah.
I'll be having Fantasy Golf Degenerates coming out with DraftKings as our sponsor for the next 12 months. So that's going to be fun. And they'll be sponsoring my back 9 bets, which I'll be doing at 3 Eastern on Tuesdays in the afternoon now.
Lovely.
That's what we've got. We've got Pool League on Tuesday nights. So we've got to go out there and dominate the guys in Pool League. Darbo, what's going on in your life this week?
Tuesday, I'll be live 8 p.m. Central Standard Time. I suppose I should say 9 p.m. Eastern for everybody else in the world that doesn't live in the Central Standard Zone, because that isn't really common for them to think of that way. And then Wednesday, I go live for members of my YouTube channel, Sweet Spot DFS. That is also, no, that's at 9. And that's just me going over the last little tidbits that I have learned throughout the week. For the American Express, I learned some good things. For the farmers, I didn't. You know, like the farmers, I think I just listened to a lot of people kind of down on Justin Rose, and that's kind of why I just was like, yeah, I agree. I agree for the same reasons you guys agree, and that was bad. For some of my followers, like Bryson in my chat, who used my optimizer, like I had told you in the beginning of this pod, that it chose Justin Rose a lot. I didn't want to play Justin Rose, so I ignored what my optimizer wanted. So now I'm gonna be I'm trying to think of a friendlier way to say this, like brain fucked, you know, when it comes to
just don't get cute. Just not getting cute. Keep it simple.
Yeah.
Play the cards that are dealt
in
front of you.
People that come to my streams know how this ends up going. So now, last week we didn't trust the optimizer. This week we will, and then the optimizer will be stupid for whatever reason. And then next week is going to be like, dang it, what am I supposed to do? Like, that's kind of how I feel this week. Is like, dang it, I don't know what to do. But I do know one thing. I'm going to have to really think about Scotty Scheffler. And maybe I don't, because I think this is going to be the year Scotty Scheffler gets 8+ wins, and he will have to win this tournament in order to get, you know, he's going to have to win as many in the beginning here. And I think this is an easy tournament for him to win. Yeah. There's nothing to lead me to believe from the American Express there's any doubt to think he's not going to win this event.
And this is the smallest this field's been. I think it's like 124 people, 127 people.
Yeah, he's usually 132. So, yeah.
Yeah. So there's less people involved. So it's like, it's destined, you know. And I think until he shows us that we can't trust him to win golf tournaments at the current price that he's at, I'm going to just keep rolling with him and just see what happens, man. Because the thing is, there's no like market for Scotty Scheffler in the betting world right now. He's like very fairly priced in the outright market and the top 5. You know, like you're almost getting 2-to-1 odds in the top, minus 200, 1-2. You know, you got to.
What do you do with that? What do you do with that? Like,
you just leave it alone.
Do you?
I used to hammer Scotty Scheffler at like minus 150 for a top 10, which was a lot. Now the same odds and worse for a top 5. It's like, but he hasn't finished worse than 7 since the Players.
I try to figure out what my threshold is for exposure to owning a golfer in my lineups, and I build 100+ lineups, so these percentages actually, you know, really matter as to like how to prevent myself from going too far in on golfers. And normally, like the sweet spot, in my opinion, of exposures is like 40%. If you really like a golfer, 40%. And I know people overweight and stuff like that, but I think for me, I'm always hesitant of withdrawals and shit like that really tank your week, and I just don't want that to happen. If you're building 100 lineups, how many lineups do you put Scotty Scheffler in?
All of them. If I'm building 100.
Really?
Yeah. Like if I'm building 100, I'm going to put him in every one of them, because then you're just trying to find the 6K guys that make it work. If I'm building 5, I don't know if I'm going the Scotty Scheffler route, because I don't trust myself to find the 6K guys in those 5 lineups that will make it work. I would rather go to the 9K range and like.
I told you
balanced.
This. Yeah. Well, so I told you this before. I had a conversation with ChatGPT about strokes gained stats and stuff like that, and it was fun. Like, don't get me wrong, I actually really enjoyed it. And when coming up with a model that makes sense to use strokes gained stats, finding high floors for 6K golfers is the way to go. And I think that's where like I'm kind of doing really well in my leagues right now, and it's because I'm not putting a worthless 6K golfer in those. And I think if you need to build a Scotty Scheffler lineup, find the 6K golfers that have the highest floors, which it might be a no-brainer for some people, but like for me, when I'm building my lineups, a lot of times I'm trying to find that upside with one of the 6K golfers. Like I'm putting an Adrian Demont Dejassar, like I'm putting that guy in my lineup when it might not really make sense to, or like he hasn't even proven himself at this event, and maybe he has good, whatever. But like we will have to look at the 6K range, and there might only be like 5 6K golfers worth playing. And the fun part about that is if you're building Scotty Scheffler lineups, you interchange those 5 golfers in different random orders to build your different lineups that way. And that might actually help you narrow down. That's the whole point of like my streams on Tuesday nights, is to narrow down a player pool or narrow down on a few golfers and just let the optimizer do its thing and find all those golfers in the buckets that we want. So Tuesdays are going to be interesting. Wednesday is going to be interesting because that's where we learn all the things. Do we Scotty or do we not? Yeah. And if we Scotty, who are the 6K golfers that are going to make that lineup possible?
Find out.
Yes.
Tuesday nights.
Tune in.
Afternoons. Sweet Spot DFS. Back 9 bets, baby. We will love to have you guys over there.
Absolutely.
That's it from me for tonight, Eric. Have a great week, friends. Thank you for tuning in. Hit the like, hit the subscribe on the way out. Tell us how handsome we look in the comments. And we'll see you guys next Sunday. Catch you guys.